Okay, so we are going to do 1.2 angle addition postulate homework. So we already have our video notes for all of these. So now we're going to move on to the homework assignments. So let's get started. So the first thing we want to do is name each angles as many ways as you can. So if we have an angle that has a number here, we can label it angle 4. So this is angle 4 right here. However, not the most ideal. What we really are focused on is from one point to the center or the vertex of the angle and then out to the other point. When we do that, then we create an angle that runs P to Q to R. And it's very important that we have this middle that we call the vertex in the center of our angle. So when we're doing this, make sure it's the center of your angle. Now, that doesn't mean we have to start down here at P, go through Q, and then up to R. We could actually reverse that idea, start up here, go through Q, and then go to P. So our other angle that we can run is RQP. And I don't like to use this one because I think students maybe overuse this one a lot, but because there's only one angle here, okay, it's this angle right here, you can label it angle Q. However, I would challenge most of my students to stay away from just using that single letter. I would really prefer that you try and use 3 letters. So let's look at number 8. We could call this angle 9 because there's a 9 right here inside of this angle. So we're just looking at the door swing. How far does the door swing open? Angle 9 is that door swing. Then we can run our 3 letters again. We could do C, B, A, or we could do A, B, C, or the dreaded just the vertex because there's only one angle, angle B. You will see though soon if we have multiple angles here, we don't want to use multiple angles. We only have one letter for multiple angles because we don't know which angle we're going to be talking about. So here we go. We got angle 2. We have angle DEF. We have angle FED. And then we have angle E. And the box in the corner is also an indicator of 90 degrees. That's a right angle, which means it's 90 degrees as its measure. All right. Name the indicated angle as many ways as you can. So they're talking about this angle right here. So we're going to talk about angle 5. We're going to talk about angle DFE. We're going to talk about angle EFD, and that's the ways we can manage that. Then this angle right here, we're going to talk about angle 3, because you can always use the number that's inside. Angle EHF, and then we can swap the letters. Instead of going E to H to F, we can go F to H to E. F to H to E. Alright, then the last one, we can do angle 7, then we can do angle TWU, and flip it UWT. Alright, this one, use the angle addition postulate to find the measure of the indicated angle. So, angle addition postulate is a piece plus a piece equals the whole thing. So when we do this, and we talked about in my classroom, a piece plus a piece is going to equal the whole angle. We did it with segments. We said a segment plus a segment equals the whole segment. So the angle is going to happen the same way. A piece of the angle plus a piece of the angle equals the whole angle. So we're going to try and replicate that. Let me do this. Green. and then blue. So we are going to have angle UTP plus angle PTS equals the whole thing, UTS. Okay, so we did the first piece, which was the green angle, U to T to P, plus the blue angle, P to T to S, equals the whole big angle, U to T to S. So if we do that, let's start substituting what these values are. So if I look at the green angle right here, I can say angle UTP equals 96 degrees. So instead of this angle right here, I know what it equals. It equals 96. So let's put 96 there. And then I know angle PTS equals 35. So instead of PTS, let's put 35. It's still going to equal angle UTS, but that's essentially what we're trying to find anyways. The directions say find the measure of angle STU. And remember, STU is the same as UTS. So however you write it, you're still going to get the same angle measure either way, because we can either swing it this way or we can swing it that way. It's still the same swing angle. So combine like terms and we get 131 equals the measure of angle UTS. And if you want to put the measure, it's kind of the appropriate way to do it. But too many people, unless you're going into college, not too many people are going to gripe about that. So once again, we have a piece of an angle. We have another piece of an angle. And it's going to equal the whole angle. Okay? So if we do that, we're going to have a green plus a blue equals a pink. Okay? So then we're going to say angle green GFD plus angle DFE. Oh, thank you. Appreciate that. DFE equals the whole angle, GFE. And now it's just about substituting and solving. So let's substitute our values in. So GFD, they said is 65 plus angle DFE we don't know, so we can always label an unknown with a variable x equals the whole thing. And this arc right here is indicating the measure of the whole thing is 108. So then we can subtract our 65 from both sides because we're solving for x, so we're trying to get rid of everything that's on the same side as x. And that's going to leave us with x equals 43. So at this time, if you wanted to pause the video and try the last one, number 15 real quick. I mean, the last one of these ones. And remember, this is telling you the whole thing is 170. So this is where my variable would be here. So our first piece is going to be angle CBY plus YBA equals the whole thing, ABC, A to B to C. And you can notice that they'll use capital letters for their points on the angle, where I'll use a lowercase x to indicate an unknown. So that is CBY is going to be x plus YBA is 26 degrees, and then ABC is 170 degrees. And if we underline the variable, draw a line down the middle of the equal sign. Kind of difficult. Let's try this. There we go. Down the middle of the equal sign. Then we can subtract 26 from both sides so that this 26 zeroes out. We're left with x equals 144. And we can always plug it back in. 144 plus 26. Make sure it gives us 170 to know that we did it right. So these are either they're just single steps to solving these problems. Sorry, I'm just trying to adjust accordingly. That we're going to start doing a little bit more complex math. However, it still stays the same. We're still going to do the piece, which is GFD angle plus angle DFE equals the whole thing, angle GFE. And for the first one, GFD, it tells us that it is 5x plus 16. Plus, let's go with purple because we can see it better. DFE, so DFE is going to be 38 equals the whole thing. Let's try green, see if we can do it. GFE. Oh, that works. That one does work pretty well. So angle GFE, they said, is 114 degrees. So right up here, we can say it's 114 degrees. So with that, we're going to highlight what we want to solve for, which is x. And we're going to draw a line down the middle of the equal sign. And anything that is on the same side as that highlight, we want to get rid of. So we want to get rid of the 5, we want to get rid of the 16, we want to get rid of the 38. But there's a good order, a good way to do that. What I would like to do first is combine these two terms together so that I make 54. And I still have a 5x. And all I did was I did 16 plus 38. I just put those two things together to make 54. Now, if I'm still solving for that x, I want to get rid of a positive 54. So I'm going to subtract 54 from both sides. And that's going to zero out 54 minus a positive and a negative. Zero out. So I'm left with 5x equals, the 4's cancel out, 11 minus 5. It'll be 60, then divide by 5. And x is going to equal 12. Now, it says find the value of x. What we have to be careful of is, do we need to find the value of GFD? And if we do, oh, thank you so much. Wow, that scared me. Thank you, Reese, for the follow. So if we find x, sometimes you have to plug it back in to actually solve for whatever that angle measure is. So be attentive to that. Make sure that you do that correctly. All right, next one. So let's split that here and let's start the next one. So TSP. And if you don't remember, this is, I did some notes to view what the actual thing is. And if you do want to look at that, you can always go to my YouTube channel, or you can join my tutoring. And in the teacher channel, I did post this metadoc as well. And it does have, hold on, copy, Control K, Control V, Y. that. And then we will go Control K, Control V, and copy that. Turn those green. Good. Yeah, so you can go in the Discord. I don't know why that's the blank one. Let's edit that too, because I don't want it to be the blank one. I want it to be this one. So copy link. And it's only viewable. You can't edit it or do anything like that. Control V, enter. There we go. And then that one will bring up the master copy. Okay, good. Excellent. So just some extra help at some point if you need it. All right, let's get back to the work. So TSP plus PSR. But I was saying if you feel like I'm going too fast, maybe go back to the video notes and look at that, because I would hate to leave anyone behind. All right, so TSP is 113 plus PSR, 10x plus 5, make that a good 10. And then TSR, they told me, is 168. So I want to put that 168 there. Now we'll draw a line down the middle of the equal sign. This is our only variable, but we should combine those two. So 10x plus 118 equals 168. Then we can subtract our 118 from both sides. That will leave us with just a 10x, and then this will leave us with just a 50, divide by 10, and x will equal 5. Perfect. Once again, we might have to plug it back in. However, if we knew this was 168, we can just subtract 113, and that would tell us the measure of that. And if you did that, you would get, what, 55 here? And you could say 55 equals this. But this process that I'm going through is going to work 100% of the time. So this might get you an answer maybe a little bit quicker, but it also isn't going to be the proper method every single time. And you'll see that with this next problem, because we have x's here and x's here. We don't know. So if we continue to do this, it gets easier over time, and then when the problems get a little bit more complex, it's actually not that much more complex. We're just repeating the same process. So our first angle is IHJ plus angle JHG equals angle IHG. And IHG is 151. IHJ is 6x plus 3, and then JHG is 11x plus 12. So let's use highlighters real quick just to make sure everybody's on that same page. So I have I to H to J is this value, so I to H to J is that value. Then we have J to H to G is this value. JHG is that value, so they match up. And then the last one will be the whole thing. IHG, and IHG is 151. So that's where all these little pieces come from. Okay? Now let's look at our variables. So I see a variable here, I see a variable here, and here's my equal sign that I'm going to draw a line down the middle of. Now, are my highlights on the same side or are they on opposite sides? So when I look at this, these underlines are both on this side of my red line. So all I need to do is combine like terms. So if I do 11x plus 6x, that will give me 17x. And then 3 plus 12, that will give me 15, equals 151. So once again, let's look at that. We did a 6x plus 11x to get the 17x. And then we're going to do 3 plus 12 to get the 15. So those are where those numbers come from. So separating that idea, that thought, thank you so much for the likes, really sets this up. Now, let's go back to solving it. So we want to solve for x. I need to get rid of 17, but first I want to get rid of the plus 15. So I'm going to subtract 15 from both sides. That's going to leave me with 17x equals, I don't know. Let's do this right. Where's Desmos? I don't even have it. Come on. There we go. I searched for it enough. Okay, so 151 minus 15. 136. So we're going to do 136. And I'm doing this because the next one I definitely don't know off the top of my head. Divide by 17. Pink is such a terrible color. Let's go with this. Divide by 17 on both sides. And x is going to equal 136 divided by 17, which is 8. So then x equals 8. Okay, last sets. Once again, same setup, same solves. Keep going, work your way through it. And as redundant as it gets, I just want to continue practicing good form. So GFA plus angle AFE. And I'm telling you, I was not that student in high school. I just wanted to get to the answer. But my mom kept encouraging me, and eventually I did find writing it every time just helps you retain that information so well. So I know it's kind of a pain, but continue to really push yourself to write it every time, because you will make so many less mistakes doing so. All right, so we got this. Throw a highlight down the middle. Here's a variable. Here's a variable. Oh, now this is the first time we're going to see them. They're on opposite sides. So what we're going to do is we're either going to subtract 6x from both sides, or we can subtract 12x from both sides. Now, one of them makes more sense than the other, but you can do it either way. One's just going to give you a negative over the other one. Not going to give you it. So let's subtract 6x from both sides. And the reason being is if I do 12 take away 6, I don't get a negative. Where if I did 6 take away 12, that's going to give me a negative answer. So 6x and 6x is 0 out. So I still have 18 plus 46 equals 6x plus 4. Now, I can definitely combine these like terms. So let's do that. Let's do 64 equals 6x plus 4. Still trying to solve for x, so I need to get rid of the 6 and the 4. I'm going to get rid of the 4 first, because all I need to do is subtract 4 from both sides, and I get 6 times x equals 60. And timesing, I want to divide, and x is going to equal 10. Now, this one still goes back to these directions, solve for the value of x. But if it didn't and it wanted us to solve for these angles, we would plug 10 back in and get 78 degrees, because 10 times 6 is 60 plus 18 is 78. And then 10 times 12 is 120, so this would be 124. And if we did 46 plus 78, we should get 124. So making sure that all those align properly is exactly what we're going for. All right, next problem. Angle G to F to C, G to F to C, plus C to F to E, C to F to E, equals the whole thing. And we can even go backwards. E, F, G. E, F, G. Oh, and they look at that. That's what they wrote. 33x plus 4 equals C to F to E, 17x minus 3, and then GFC 55. So let's go break it down again. Gonna draw my line down the middle equal sign. Here's a highlight. Here's a highlight. But before that, let's look. G to F to C. 55, 55. C to F to E. C to F to E. 17x minus 3. And then the last one, G to F to E, or E, F, G, if we want to do it backwards, which they did, goes back to this. So we know we're all set up. Now, the x's are on opposite sides. So once again, however you decide to do it, but I would deal with the small number, or if there's a negative. If there's a minus 17, then just add it to the other side. But I'm going to have to subtract 17x from both sides. Now, combine the x's together. Leave the numbers alone. So there's still a 4 here. There's still a minus 3 here. There's still a 55 here. Like, leave the numbers alone. We're only doing it to the x's. So, when we do 17, take away 17, these zero out and cancel each other out. I hate to say cancel, but they do. They're zeros. And then we need to do 33 minus 17. So 33 minus 17. And it's because I'm making an answer sheet. I definitely don't want to do too much mental math and make easy mistakes. Let's not do that. Otherwise, I'm giving students a bum video. So 55 minus 3, I can definitely mental that out. Then let's subtract 4 from both sides. And that's going to give me 48 equals 16x. And then divide, because in between 16 and x, even though they don't write it, is multiplication. So in order to get rid of multiplication, we can divide both sides by 16. And x is going to equal, what, 3? 48 divided by 16. 48 divided by 16 is going to be 3. So x equals 3. Another one bites the dust. All right, last one. Once again, take a pause if you need to, try it on your own, and then hit play and make sure you did it correctly. So C to D to F, angle CDF plus FDE. FDE equals angle CDE. Angle CDE, 13x plus 18. FDE, 9x minus 3. CDF, 65. Okay? Underline your variables. Draw a line down the middle of the equal sign. They are on opposite sides. Brings me back to, let's move one of them to the other side. Playing that game again. We'll do 13, take away 9, which should give us 4x. And then we can just copy everything else that we've been doing, just down. 65, take away 3, which will be 62. Then we can subtract 18 from both sides. So that would be 44, I'm going to guess. 62 minus 18. Look at that, 44. Mental math working good today. Divide by 4. And x equals 11. All right. So, please review these. Do whatever you need to do to become successful. The IXL assignment is 2UG. We want a full 100 on that. But otherwise, do the homework, fill it out, and submit it in. Any questions other than that? If you do have questions, email me, message me in Discord, tag me in TikTok, whatever you need to do. I'm really just trying to make successful math students out there, so whatever you need, let me know so I can help you become successful. Until next time, have a blessed week and happy holidays. If you just had your holidays and the ones coming up.